All right, well, that I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. Then if that's,
So, what are your thoughts on graded games?
I don't mind graded games. I don't mind the service itself. The thing that's a head scratcher for me though is why does it like 500x the price? That's the part I don't understand. You know, if you get a game that would go for $100, you get it graded, doesn't mean it's automatically like a $15,000 game. I don't understand that. I can understand it being more because you got to fold over the service that you've paid for, your time, the nice little case and stuff. You know, that $100 game should be 150 because of that, maybe $200. But it doesn't make it like just an astronomical increase in price.
That's my problem with it. Excuse me, with it too. But the issue there is people are buying it. That's why it turns like times 15 in value, because people are actually buying it and paying for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I mean, there have been some controversial
some
things over recently over stuff like that, but you know, people are buying it, and to the point where I've been at conventions and known a vendor who has paid $1,000 more for like a Turtles in Time sealed because he had the intent to go get it graded and potentially try to sell it for like 20 grand or something, $25,000-$30,000 or something. I'm with you. I don't have an issue with grading itself, but my problem is someone has something graded and they just think, oh, this $200 game is now worth $10,000.
I mean, I think grading is dumb as shit.
Do you like, just in general, you just don't like it?
Because I look, if you, I have no problem with keeping a sealed game. Like if you want to, I have several sealed games. I think it's cool. All the sealed games I own, I already own them loose, so there's no reason to open them up. And maybe one day when I'm, 70, if I make it to 70, I'll open up my Link to the Past, pretend like it's the first time. But I guess my issue is just like I just don't like the idea of sending something off to some company to arbitrarily say, hey, this is in our opinion, this is what the quality of this particular item is, and whether or not you're gonna sell it or whatever, just like now it's in this case with this stupid number on it from some company. It's just like, oh, it's collect it or don't. Like I don't need somebody to tell me something's worth more, for me to value it. It's just like, I just don't see the point personally.
But it's not for people like you or like me, or it's for those people who are in it to resell, to make money. Well, that's what it's for.
Let's face it. In collecting, no matter what it is that you collect, condition is king.
Of course.
The better condition, the higher the price.
Of course.
And this goes for if you're a coin collector, a stamp collector, if you do comic books, and this has been a thing in comic books forever with the grading.
Which I was about to touch on that actually, because now it's cards and sports cards.
Antique
and stuff
furniture,
too.
It doesn't matter what it is. Condition is a priority, if not the priority for a lot of collectors. And I think it's just something that's kind of inherent in just that kind of mentality of a collector. You want to upgrade. You want the best. You want the best version of whatever it is you collect.
I mean, yes.
And that's why the grading system is there. And that's because people want to know. Oh well, if you have these authorities, that are able to grade, and it be universally accepted, people are going to want to do that to say, oh look, mine's a 9.6.
Like I'm not trying to impress anybody with my stuff. Like I want to upgrade a lot of my boxes I own for my games, but I recently upgraded my Castlevania 4 into a much better condition box, because it's just what I wanted for myself. Because I feel like if I want to collect the boxes, I just want the best possible condition. But where there's some disconnect, I guess, is I'm not trying to, if somebody was to come over and look at my game room or whatever and go, oh, this is that, and I could care less about, oh yeah, that's a 9.8, quality. It's just like, oh cool, you got a Castlevania box. It's like that's where I come from in that,
I get that because I'm the same way, but we've got to admit that that's just something that's prevalent in the mindset of collectors. Again, across the board, whatever you collect, condition is king, and that's just the way it is, unfortunately.
No, it is, but you can preserve the condition with those hard acrylic cases without having to send it off to get graded. You can buy those. You can order those online. And if your goal is to just preserve the quality of the box or of the card or of the comic or whatever, you can do that without having it graded. Getting it graded, I think, getting it graded is with the intent of adding value.
Sure.
Whether you're a collector, whether you're a reseller, whether whatever, because now if you've got this sealed, whatever, and you send it off, well now, okay, I spent $100 to do that. Well, I can get 5 times what it's worth if I ever need to sell it. So the intent, whether you're a collector, reseller, whatever, is to add the value. It's not really, I personally don't see it as preserving the integrity of the item, and keeping it crisp, keeping the corners sharp on a baseball card or something like that, because you can do that without having it graded and getting that extra value added on to it.
Right. So it is essentially agreed upon, set of like parameters to say this is what this is worth at a 9.5, because when you are selling high dollar items, this has maybe like a scratch here or a dent here, that needs to be factored in on because that's going to determine what you're going to pay or not. And look, I'm not in the, I'm not a game seller, right? So it really doesn't affect me unless I'm trying to buy it. So I don't care. Where I think it's just absolutely ridiculous is just the inflated, insane prices. Like that Mario 64 that sold for like 1.5, was it?
There was a bunch of controversy around that they were bidding on it themselves to try to run up the price.
Even so,
Which in return, what that does, that inflates the entire market. That screws up the entire market.
Which is why they were doing it. So because
Exactly.
This was Heritage.
It was Heritage, yes.
So yeah, because they get a percentage of everything. So if they hype up this sealed game to 1.5 million, oh man, right, this is where the next money making scheme is going to go. So like everybody wants to sell their games, and they're like, hey guys, sell your games here. Mm-hmm. And then the more the people sell their games and the higher those prices go, Heritage gets a percentage. That's why they did it.
Yeah, I mean,
that's why they did it.
So yeah, I see. I'm not familiar with the video game, with this aspect of the video game industry. Heritage was also grading and selling.
No.
Yes, no, I think they grade.
Well,
too.
do they?
Yeah, they're.
I thought they went with they decided like I got a partnership with WADA.
I think they come to my show every year. They have the last like 2 or 3 years. They're Dallas based. So
see, that's a conflict of interest. If
absolutely,
they're grading and then selling as well.
That's the problem, is because this item was apparently someone, and now I think they're grading. Don't quote me. I don't know a whole lot about Heritage or WADA. Or, I know WADA does. They do grading and whatnot. Essentially, I'm touching that in a second, but essentially, Heritage is doing an auction. And this item, this Super Mario 64, whatever, was owned by someone associated with Heritage, one of the owners or partners or something like that. That's the deal, and that's absolutely conflict of interest. And the rumor is, and I don't know a whole lot, I didn't follow the story, but the rumor is, and I don't know if it's been exposed or whatever as true, but someone from Heritage was bidding on that item to run the price up. Or 2 people were, shit.
Which increases the prices of future games.
Right, but people do that on
eBay
eBay too. Future. Like, if I wanted to sell Terror Tunes on eBay and I'm like, I got to get at least $20, I would just call Billy and go, hey, why don't you go put in a bid at 20, so it's gonna get up there. Every time someone bids, you're gonna outbid them until he gets outbid. It's the same kind of thing.
I wonder if that's why prices are where they are. Is that's an aspect of driving those prices up artificially.
I think
because some of this isn't organic.
Yes and no. Yes and no. But see, that's the thing is no one's sitting here going, "Oh, Mario 64 is a $1 million game." No one's actually saying that, and no one's actually believing. Not even with any kind of freaking sense, at least. It was fishy from the jump. That whole thing. And again, I did not follow the story, so I don't know if anybody did any deep diving on it to figure out if that actually is what happened. But almost immediately, like that rumor got out there that it was Heritage who ran that price up like that.
I mean, I haven't followed it either, but like it seems like it's a plausible thing because again, like if you stand to make a profit off of literally every video game that you sell, then why would you not want that market?
No, I agree.
As prevalent,
right,
as
and
possible.
That's the dirtiness about it all. Is if you're doing an auction, like we go to arcade auctions. If I win a game, if I buy an arcade for $1,000, there's a 15% premium that I got to pay to the auctioneers. So that $1,000 game, now I'm paying.
It's in their interest that they sell for more as much as possible.
Yes, of course it is. Yes.
But that would be the same with like Christie's, any type of auction site, not specifically just video games.
Yeah, but if that's the thing though, Christie's has the reputation to where they don't need to do that.
Yeah, I think a Mario one, like a Super Mario Brothers, didn't sell for like $1 million or something like that.
I think so, but it was some special one with like a sticker. So look at it as like a first edition if you're a book guy. Oh, it was that kind of. It was a weird thing, like this particular batch was like the very first batch release because it had some special sticker on it or something.
But I've heard that I guess some of this is crashing down. Like I guess some of the latest selling amounts are like 50 or so whatever percentage lower than what they have been over the last couple of years. It's like starting to crash down, which I mean, I think like if there was definitely a controversy then that would, if that got exposed, then obviously that would be a contributing factor to that. And then also just like, I mean, at some point,
sustainable.
I'd say at some point you have to just, as somebody who's even interested in buying games, you can't keep paying those prices. That's ridiculous. It's not gonna sustain itself. It's just ridiculous. That's ridiculous amount of money, like $1.5 million for a sealed video game.
No, I mean it's weird, like if a mint condition version of a video game is $500, just because you get it graded, all that should be doing is just proving the point that it is mint condition and not. It shouldn't 5x, 10x, 20x, 50x the price of the game. You know what I mean? Like, because it's still perfect condition before you put it in a case and get it graded versus afterwards.
But you know what's messed up with certain games, and I argue with all games that are getting graded, you're grading the cellophane. You're grading the wrapper. Because let's say this was a PS2 game, right? You can clearly visually inspect it and go, okay, no cracks. That's pristine. Right?
Sure.
So you're grading the outside of it. And if you got a box that's clean, corners are sharp, there's no tears, whatever, you can see that's good quality. So that's going to be like, okay, that's great. Now what else are they going to look at? There's not going to be scratches and dents in the box unless it was dropped, but if you have all that wrong with it, you're not going to turn it in and get graded. So essentially, you're getting the plastic covering graded.
Well, and don't these circuit boards break down over time?
I don't buy that.
Is that true?
No, I don't buy that.
Just
not in the last 30 years, apparently. But I mean, everything breaks down eventually.
Generally speaking,
but
are we calling that disc rot? I don't believe in you. Take care of your. It's going to work.
I mean, everything's going to turn to dust eventually. But
I mean, sure, in the right environment. But if you keep
right. If you keep a Nintendo game out in the humidity for 20, 30 years, it's probably not going to work.
Yeah.
It's gonna corrode. If you keep it in decent condition, it'll last. It'll last longer. I mean, who knows? 30 years from now, 40 years from now, I don't know. But
I guarantee you it'll still work if it's kept in a controlled environment like a house, But like you said, if it's out in a garage or storage unit and you got all the depending on where you live, the humidity and all that kind of crap, then that's one thing. But the notion that a game just stops working because of its age is bullshit. It's bullshit.
I don't think it's going to be happening anytime soon. Like not even 20 years. I think they'll still work. I don't think that they're going to stop working.
The thing is,
but when you have $1 million investment,
yeah, but they're not going to be opening up and playing it anyway. So
right,
it's like
right.
Well, that's part of my point. Is if just with the process of time, things tend to degrade and break down, on a molecular level. At some point, that game is not going to be playable inside this minty box that you've paid $1 million for.
I disagree with that. Well, 100% disagree with that.
There's graded G.I. Joe figures where the top part is fallen out because the O-ring is rotted out.
Right, but that's rubber. We're not talking like a circuit board. And if it's being preserved, it's not gonna go the way of an O-ring, and it's just gonna crack in half and break. That's not a thing. I don't buy it.
Yeah,
There's no case studies that can prove something like that. First of all,
yeah, but
because you've got like Atari games will still fire up. Over 40-year-old games will fire up. When Atari came out, 76.
yeah, but I'm saying the data on those chips are eventually going to start degrading. We're just like, but there is no like, Anthony, that's just a reality.
I don't think so.
It's just a reality.
We're not going to see it. We're not going to see it.
I mean, I'm not saying we are, but I'm saying like it's not out of the realm of possibilities that in 20 years the data that all you need is a few bytes of data to start corrupting off of those chips.
Speculation.
It's not speculation; it's facts.
There's no case study. There's no case study on it. I'm telling you.
You don't have to have a case study on everything.
Yeah, you do.
No, you do not.
Yeah, you do.
There's an article on. I was just reading, really quickly.
Fact
And
check. I like this.
It says that the first CDs that came out in the 80s are starting to rot. So they're estimating 50 to 100 years old that the CDs will start to deteriorate.
Are we talking sealed CDs, controlled environment? Are we talking like something sitting on a shelf? Because I have CDs that won't play now because I played them so fucking much that the way a CD works is once that top layer starts to come off, that's when you get skipping and stuff like that. If that stays fine and mint, then your CD is going to play just fine.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, everything breaks down. Like even the paint on things will break down over time.
Well, with enough use, yes, things will break down.
Not
but
even
if something's just sitting there.
Not even use.
Dude, I can still play my very first CD I ever got.
That's not
True Life Crew's Greatest Hits. I can still play it.
That's not the debate. The debate is it happening right this second? Is it possible within our lifetime? Which I believe.
I just don't buy it that it's gonna break down doing nothing but sitting there. I refuse to believe it.
I just don't understand how you could actually have that mindset.
We just had a real-time fact check, and you're still digging your heels in.
I've opened up.
Hang on, I want to know the parameters of this.
I've opened up brand new games before and stuck it in my Atari, and they don't work. The discs just don't work, and it's not the
Atari
disc.
don't have discs.
They do actually.
First of all,
computer.
So there's that
floppy disk.
You said you opened brand new games, put it in your Atari, and it didn't work. Atari don't have discs.
What is with him tonight?
He's just ornery. It must be a full moon or something.
Atari 2600 didn't have discs.
I didn't say Atari 2600.
Oh my gosh.
I said my Atari that has a floppy drive,
You're
disk
floppy.
drive.
You're a disk drive.
Brand new games I've opened up and they don't work, and it's not the drive itself.
Could be the drive.
It's not the drive. He just refuses.
Okay, this actually says. Sorry, I'm sorry. It says to get an accurate picture, you actually need to study a big collection of different discs from a lot of different sources. Even enter the United States of America's Library of Congress, who have just that. In 2009, they did an exhaustive study of disc life in their collection and found at least some discs will be usable in the 28th century. But the research is pretty scientific, but here's an important conclusion. The mean lifetime for the disc population as a whole was calculated to be 776 years for the disc used in this study, but some could be less than 25 years, up to 500 years for others, and even longer.
In other words, we're never going to see it.
No, in other words, it's already started to happen.
In other words,
Okay, that's how you can perceive that article.
but perceive it. That's exactly literally how. That's literally what it said. It's literally what it said.
Hang on, 1 or 2 doesn't mean it's happening. He literally just said that the disc life can be 500 years plus.
Why
didn't you just say that the average disc life is over 700 years?
I love how you
but
just. I love how you
some
cherry-pick.
were less than
Okay.
25 years.
Some were less
Some,
than.
but that's electronics. What was the failure rate on Wii's
so a
and
ga-
Xboxes
so a game-
and
so a
PS2s
game's
and
not
3s
electronic?
when they came out?
So an NES is an electronic.
I'm not saying that.
There's-
some things can come out of the package not working properly, obviously.
The
not that stupid.
The article literally said that it could disc rock as early as 25. The median is 700, and some could last to the 28th century or whatever the hell he said. Which I believe actually that's around 700 years
Right.
anyway. But
So basically, what I get from that is that yes, some are starting to rot. There are others that will last a very, very long time, but all layers on a burnable CD, on a CD that has information on it, will deteriorate over time.
But it's not happening right now. Is my point. That's all
But
I'm
he
saying.
literally just said it's happening right now.
It's
he
a-
literally-
It's
how do you-
a
how do you-
defective disc.
How do you?
And
It's a defective disc.
That dog's not flying. He's floating.
You guys are sitting here. You guys are sitting here saying that like it's happening like at a rampant rate right now.
I never
And it's not
said
the
that.
case.
I never said that.
That's what y'all are. That's what y'all are saying. That's what you're implying. That's what you're trying to push onto the audience.
Well,
and I don't
that's
think they
that's
appreciate
funny
that.
because they can rewind and hear exactly what I
don't think
said.
y'all
Because
appreciate-
I
y'all appreciate
literally said that I'm not 100% saying it's happening now. I'm saying it's not without the realm of possibilities that could happen in the next 20, 30 years.
Anything can happen. We're not going to see.
I mean, I'm not saying we are, but I'm saying like it's not out of the realm of possibilities that in 20 years the data that all you need is a few bytes of data to start corrupting off of those chips.
Speculation. I can trip
Apparently,
up the, I can trip
apparently,
up the
no.
stairs.
Apparently, you disc rot can't happen in the 23rd. So no, nothing
Can't
can
happen.
No, not everything can happen.
I just refuse to believe it. That's you know what that is? That's what's the word I'm looking for here? When the propaganda.
Here's my question.
it's fake news.
Fake news.
I would like to know what in your scientific background is telling you
Okay.
is telling
Okay.
you that it won't. Like what basis is your foundation for saying that it just will? It's impossible to happen.
Here's the thing.
What are you
Let me-
dealing?
let
What
me-
do you?
let me-
Whoa,
hang on.
what science do you deal in?
I was asked a question. Can I not answer it?
I just,
Go ahead.
Okay. Let me answer. Let me answer your question with a question of my own.
Okay.
What in your scientific
I literally
background-
just heard
What
what
in
the
your
I
science-
literally
oh,
just heard.
Okay, Robbie, what is your science? What are you a doctor of?
I like how he reads an article, and
I don't know who wrote that article.
But you were also plenty fine with the article when it was saying everything would last, or some things would last 700 years. You know, you were perfectly fine with it.
Was I
then.
perfectly fine with that? Or
Oh,
was I
yeah.
just citing
It
a
was-
piece of the article that you guys were ignoring?
It was the
I
Library of Congress.
literally did not ignore it. I literally
you
didn't
did
ignore it.
ignore it.
I-
You said, see, it's happening.
I said in words that can be confirmed that I said in 700 years. So that's what the article is saying, in 700 years or the 28th century, which is about the same. I said that. I also said that it is also happening now to a degree because the article literally just said that.
To me, it sounds like there's all of the different duplication houses, right, that do duplication for CDs and, manufacturing houses. Depending on the materials used, the layers used, they might have gotten better over time. So maybe the first ones don't last as long as some of the ones maybe produced in the mid-90s. I mean, there's a lot of variables that come into that.
All right, King Research, what was the first music disc that was out?
I don't know. That's what it said.
CD technology, if I'm not mistaken, came
70s.
came out in the late 60s or 70s.
I can't confirm or deny that, actually. My scientific background is not in CD technology, unfortunately.
See how
I don't think
he
he never actually officially answered the question either. You went to the question towards me, but you never answered your question.
deflected.
But hang on. Here's the thing, though. My answer would be the same if anyone in this room was asked that. None.
Why can't you?
You have none. You have none.
Why can't
You
you,
have
just
none.
say, "Oh, my bad. I didn't know that. I was wrong."
Because I'm not wrong.
I want to know.
necessarily.
I want to know why you are so willing to die on this hill. I mean, just of all things, why do you refuse to believe that that's even a possibility?
Because Shady J's never wrong. That's why.
Okay, fine. I'm never wrong. Is that what you want to hear? I'm never wrong.
The first CD player came out the 1st of October, 1982.
When was this compact disc
Yeah,
invented, though?
but compact discs.
And that's
the technology
that's
was before that,
commercially,
though. Yeah, this is what happens when he gets backed into a corner.
I'm not backed into
Yeah.
a
He's
corner.
like a desperate animal, just clawing and
Yeah,
fangs showing
double, triple down.
for no good reason too.
Okay.
I know. How do you invent a CD?
Stomach. How do you invent a CD?
Yeah, just one day you're like, hey, I want this thing that looks like a circle, but it's flat and holds data.
I mean,
Alien
let's see.
technology.
Hang on,
back
records
engineering.
were out before then, and
Yeah, well, what's your
You
music
know?
background to know that?
That records were out before CDs.
Yeah, what's your music background to understand that?
I have a PhD in suck my dick. Okay,
Were you valedictorian?
that's your best one. That's your best one so far, actually.
Wait, you don't believe in the flat Earth theory, do you?
No, what the you take me for?
I'm thought that was a possibility, just from what I've been hearing over the last.
I don't
15
get
minutes.
offended by much, but I should punch you in your freaking.
Who's played Mario Wonder?
I haven't. Mine's still sealed.
I don't even.
I wonder if I leave
gonna
it
go
sealed
grade it?
though. No, I'm not going to grade it. I just haven't had a chance to open it.
Why would? But surely there's people who go and they get modern games from like Target and go get them graded
Of course they
immediately,
do,
right?
because they're thinking 10 years down the road they're going to be able to cash in on it.
Especially those like limited ones.
Yep. At which point, again, you're grading the cellophane wrap. At that point, stupid. It's fucking stupid.
You haven't played Mario Wonder?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's the newest Mario game.
It's a Mario game.
Well, so obviously I haven't
Switch.
played it. Then
Well, you have a Switch.
I have a Switch. What's your point?
Oh, now it's
Oh,
your
so now
turn?
it's your turn?
I mean, I have a Switch. Does that mean I'm supposed to know every current game that's coming out?
It was a simple
No
question.
kidding. Jeez, man.
I didn't ask you some obscure.
I said I'd never even heard of it, and then you just kept going.
Also,
Well, don't
it's-
you have a Switch?
It's the newest Mario game. You usually keep on top of Mario and Zelda.
I haven't
at
played
least those two.
I haven't played video games in half a year. I've had too much to do.
So did you not get Breath of the Wild too?
No,
Okay.
I haven't
I didn't
finished
get-
the first game. What's the point in getting the second one if I haven't even beat the first yet?
Because then when you beat the first, the second one's right there ready for you to go. You don't got to...
No, I don't buy that logic.
Okay.
Especially if you don't even have the money to get them.
So, what was the last video game you played?
Zelda.
Don't. God, can you not look at me with your. What are you tired? What's
I'm
going on?
tired. I am tired. I'm sleepy.
Look at him like a little kid. He's, I'm tired.
Oh, so now it's being directed at me. Bring it on. Both of you chumps. Let's go.
Oh, you started freaking spitting venom first.